Peace and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a deeply introspective, perhaps even uncomfortable, conversation about Zimbabwe's progress. I want to pose a question that might feel unsettling, and that question is Zimbabwe suffering from a small town syndrome? Now, for those of you who have lived in a small town, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I grew up in one, and the mentality is distinct. Everyone knows everyone. Life is a familiar rhythm, and then one day, a new guy rolls into town. Maybe he's got a gleaming red BMW or a shiny green Hyundai. And what happens? Everyone, like a magnet to metal, gravitates towards this newness. There's an immediate fascination, a collective gasp for something different. Now, as far as the red BMW, that actually happened back in Mutare in the late 90s. There was a new doctor that came into town. His name was Dr. Tembo. Very interesting brother. He was very charismatic as well. That's why I remember him. And of course, the green Hyundai is Saviour Kasukuwere, now a very well-known politician in Zimbabwe. Yeah, but back then he was still a young man coming up in politics and so on. He really made his mark in our little small town here. So this small town dynamic, I believe, echoes loudly in our national psyche. Think about it. People from small towns often harbor a subtle desperation for approval from bigger cities. They look outward, not inward, for validation. And how do we see this playing out in Zimbabwe? We see this playing out in our almost worshipful approach to foreign investors. The mantra, Zimbabwe is open for business, while seemingly benign, takes on a deeply problematic connotation when viewed through this lens. It almost feels sexual, like Zimbabwe is a woman advertising herself, ready to be ravaged by powerful, seemingly masculine economies like China or America. This imagery is disturbing because it implies a lack of agency, a submission, rather than a partnership of equals. We are so eager to be noticed, to be chosen, that we forget our own worth. In small towns, you also see this fascinating, yet ultimately destructive pattern. People rise and fall from the societal ladder with incredible speed. A new kingpin emerges, dazzling everyone, only for the old one to quickly fade. The initial excitement for the new thing, the new face, the new promise, soon wears off. And then we are on to the next. This cycle of fleeting fascination, this constant search for the next best thing, tragically distracts us from recognizing our own genius. Our own genius isn't found in a foreign investor or a fleeting trend. It resides in the ordinary yet extraordinary people among us. The ones who have, dare I say, specifically incarnated into this realm for the sole purpose of elevating their people, their nation. But we, caught in the small town gaze, refuse to recognize them because fundamentally we don't recognize ourselves. We're too busy scanning the horizon for the next big import. And in that process, opportunities, and indeed our very lives, pass us by. This small town syndrome explains why we leave places like Mutare, surrounded by breathtaking landscapes, rich with diamonds and gold, to go and toil in cold, impersonal, first world countries. We miss the opportunity knocking right at our door because our focus is entirely on getting out, on finding validation elsewhere. It's that deep-seated small-town mentality that prevents us from being the best that we could be right here, right now. This mentality isn't just about outward looking. It's also about a dangerous addiction to what is familiar, even if it's externally defined. People become interested in what everyone else is interested in. Follow what everyone else follows. Their identification with the crowd is what validates them. In Zimbabwe, we see this acutely. The entire nation can become obsessed with one artist, one personality, at the expense of a whole diverse and talented industry. This can't be healthy for growth. Like a small town, the attention of an entire country can be disproportionately gripped by minor personalities who wield their money to capture public fascination. Such individuals often have very little true substance to offer beyond their financial display. What does it mean for a nation when its collective attention, its very trajectory, is largely driven by people of little substance? How can a country truly progress when its focus is constantly diverted by superficial displays? The small town syndrome dictates that Zimbabweans have held a deeply limited perspective of themselves. Our success or failure as a nation, I believe, is intrinsically tied to the extent of that limitation. We believe we have to like certain artists, or even certain foods. We feel we have to talk a certain way to be acceptable. These are self-imposed restrictions, born from a collective insecurity that mirrors the small town's yearning for external approval. Our current, often narrow, view of what it means to be a Zimbabwean is, in part, why we are struggling. This limited idea serves only a few, but it shackles the many. We are so much more than these externally influenced, self-imposed limitations. It's time to break free from this small town syndrome. It's time to shift our gaze from fleeting fascinations, the constant search for external validation, and the addiction to superficial trends. We need to look inward, recognize the immense genius within our own people, nurture it, and build a Zimbabwe that is truly self-assured, thriving not by imitation, but by genuine internal growth and innovation. So, what do you think? Is Zimbabwe suffering from a small town syndrome? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more discussions like this. Until next time, let's challenge our perspectives and unlock our true potential. Peace.